Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special championship banquet edition of Road to Indy TV. I'm your host, Tony Laporta, and tonight we're on the waterfront of the Columbia River here in downtown Portland, Oregon, as we celebrate a year of great racing, but more importantly, a year of championships. Tonight, all three of our Road to Indy champions are here. Kyle Kirkwood from USF 2000, Rinus VK from Pro Mazda, and of course, Pato O'Ward from Indy Lights, who prepares to make his venture into the Indy Car Series. We're going to go up to all three of our champions and have them explain their 2018 to us in their very own words. So that and a little bit more coming up on this weekend's episode of Road to Indy TV.
We came to St. Petersburg, which was one of my favorite tracks, and the first race I went from 8th to P1 in St. Petersburg. Also the second race in St. Pete I won from pole to finish. So
first race was easy because I was able to check out and keep that lead throughout the entire race. Then we came into the second race where I actually had to start a couple positions back. I was a bit timid in the second race. Wasn't sure what I did wrong. I thought I did good, but then I actually went and analyzed.
We got to St. Pete. We were really fast. We were challenging for poles. We qualified second on the first qualifying, and we got pole for the second one. We started first in the first race, won that one, and then I made a very rare mistake that I've never done one before, and I was leading the race. I think I remember perfectly 7 seconds in front of Urrutia, and coming into turn 4 I kind of just lost it a little bit, and I didn't stop the car enough. That made me lose the race. I ended 7th.
That was when I pushed myself the hardest, was after that weekend, because I realized what I did wrong and what to change, and that was the moment where I knew that we had the pace. I knew we had the chance to win the championship after that win.
We had an awesome weekend in Barber. We won in the dry the first race, starting from second.
Yeah, didn't score any podium. I think it was a 5th and a 4th place finish there.
For the second race, it was a rainy race, and it was one of the times where I've had so much fun in a car. The Lights car is pretty cool in the rain because of all the torque of the engine. So that was a really cool weekend for me. Coming to the Indy GP, we were really fast. Qualified on pole both qualifyings.
We got both the poles there, and Alex Barron, who's an amazing racing driver, he got around me. We raced so well for both those races, but he fell back in the second one, and I was able to just get that lead and stay out front and not have to worry about it.
In race 1, I was leading the race actually. After something in my gearbox broke, and it slowed me down on the straight, which made me finish 3rd, but the speed was there, so I was really happy with that.
Started first in both races. I got hit in one race, which damaged the gearbox and the floor of the race car, so I had to kind of nurse it home. The one on Sunday, I remember I was second place behind Urrutia, and I was trying to defend from my teammate Colton, and I flat spotted one of my tires, and it lasted about 3-4 laps. And then coming into turn 7, I was going about maybe 150, 160 miles an hour. Tire blew up, made me go into the pits. I was lucky not to hit the wall, which made me fall back to 7th.
That was a really good weekend for us. We got a second at first, and we came out with the most points, and it started to become a trend. Indy Oval race at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and we swept everything there. The Capes did an awesome job setting up the car for the race, which is consistent throughout the entire season.
It was a hard weekend. I just wasn't comfortable with driving so high on the oval after the crash damage I had in Indianapolis road course. I finished 4th, and that was just another weekend I wanted.
And throughout the entire race, we just kept pulling away a tenth, maybe half a tenth per lap with that 75-lap race. And Alex Barron actually crashed at that event, which gave us a huge buffer in the championship.
I was really looking forward to that weekend all year. It's the biggest race of the season. It's basically like a mini Indy 500 for the Lights. So I wanted to win that, and I came really close to winning it. I feel like I didn't calculate it enough, and I missed it by just a little bit at the finish line.
We went to Road America, which was my favorite track, where I had my first weekend sweep, my first win in car racing last year.
Just every single race, we had, again, an amazing race car, and we were able to just drive back through the field and come back up on top.
Yeah, race pace was terrible, and I finished 5th both races, I think.
Started racing 4th, ended in 2nd, so that was good. And then we qualified on pole for race number 2, and I knew I had the car to win. I knew I had the pace, but we were unlucky, and someone behind us, I guess they misjudged their braking, and they just rammed into the side of me, cut my rear left, and cut my floor. So I had to nurse the car home, so I didn't get in DNF. So I ended 4th in that one.
Expecting so much coming to that race, and just not being close to winning. It's just super hard. Everyone at the team knew we had to fix something. I had to fix my driving.
I knew I had to be strong that month to be able to catch up in the championship, because at this point I was falling down to Colton. I think I was 18 points down. So got to Iowa, swept the whole weekend, dominated the race. Carried that momentum into Toronto. I didn't quite get the poles in Toronto, but I ended 2nd. And I won one race and ended 2nd the second race. And that put me 8 points up in the championship. So I was leading by then.
Probably my favorite track for going down into turn 3. You had that really tight hairpin, which is unlike anything else that we drove this entire year. 2 of my best races, because I went into turn 1 not even planning on trying to pass Dakota Dickerson. He opened up a little bit. I broke at the normal braking point, or what I thought was the normal braking point, which actually was a little bit too deep. So I went down in turn 1. I think I might have touched him a little bit right in the middle of the corner. So we went 3 wide into turn 1, and I came out first and was able to check out throughout the rest of the race.
I had 2 poles in Toronto, and won 2 races with Parker Thompson, my big rival, finishing 8th both races, which was a big point boost for me to get close to him.
Then we move on to MidOhio. That was just a clean sweep for us. We led, I think, every lap of every single race. That was one of our easier weekends, but that's the track that I have the most time on.
1 pole and 1 second in the qualifications, and also won both races. Yeah, that was an amazing feeling. Taking over the championship lead and having 4 wins in a row was an amazing feeling for me.
We swept the weekend in MidOhio, and that gave me a really nice comfort gap going into Gateway.
The Gateway Oval, which was going to be 1.5 times points, which was for me very important to be good and make an advantage.
I had the pace in qualifying, but didn't quite have it for the race. But I was happy I ended on the podium. I was happy I got those points. I lost a little bit to Colton, so I think he came back 7 points from what I had, which put us at 25-point distance, which still was a very healthy margin for me.
Qualified 2nd, which was quite a good position to start from, and I passed Harrison Scott on the outside in turn 1 and just brought it home in P1. The first start, I was just thinking about, if I start now, I'm champion. That actually screwed up my start. Still coming through turn 1 and 2 in P2, and stayed behind Oliver Askew for the whole race.
Man, I had to throw it down the inside going into turn 1, starting from the pole. And I went a little bit too wide. Rasmus Lind was behind me, crossed me up, and I got him on the next lap. And then we led the rest of the race.
I got passed by my teammate Colton. Then I remember my push-to-pads wasn't working, so I stuck behind him for a while, telling the engineers to try and fix it. They fixed it and caught up to him. I feel like I returned the favor because he did a late braking pass into turn 1 on me, so I just returned the favor and I got it. And I just created a gap, and I just kept it nice and steady for the whole race.
If you take the whole season, it was quite a fun season. Very enjoyable, super hard, high-level racing. So I'm really happy to come out as the champion.
There's always going to be highs and lows, and I think this year we had a variety of everything. But I think we proved speed, we proved determination, we proved that we're the champions from 2018 Indy Lights.
So that'll do it here in downtown Portland on the waterfront of the Columbia River as we've had a great time celebrating a 2018 season. You've had a chance to meet all three of our Road to Indy champions and have them explain their championship season to you in their very own words. The night is done, and I'm about ready to lose the tie. Folks, a heartfelt thank you from all of us at Road to Indy TV for keeping up with us all season long and tuning into each and every episode. So, for the final time in the 2018 racing season, I'm Tony Laporta saying thanks, and we'll see you down the road.